That was kind of stressful.
I think so.
Very tense.
Yeah. So thanks for being here, everyone. It's on Thursday. This is a good day. Yeah.
Woo! Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. So awesome. So thanks for coming. We're going to be sharing some secrets today, and and we'll also have some time to talk about some other things after too. So, but first, we are going to talk about how to unlock Ermac in Super Mario Brothers 2 using the Sega 32X. Who here knows how to do that?
We're starting off with a bang.
Okay. So before we do that, I just want to introduce everyone. We have Ermac here.
Hey guys.
Yourself.
Sure. I was at Harmonix for about 15 years. I made their game engine and worked on their first engine up until about 2 years ago. And then I've been doing virtual reality exercise, which you'll hopefully see in gyms near you.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Next, we have Carl Adams here.
Hi, my name's Carl Adams, like you said. My background's mostly television, animation. I've done shows for Adult Swim, HBO, Comedy Central, so on and so forth. The reason I'm here is my family's business has been coin-op video game machines, pinballs, jukeboxes since 1942. Back then it was just one-armed bandits and stuff, and then kind of slowly progressed. But yeah, so it's now it's my brother's business, and I'm going to talk about some cheating.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Hey, Carl, everybody.
Yeah.
We have Ichiro.
Sure, I'm Ichiro. I run an indie studio called Dejaban Games. I've been in the industry for about 25 years at this point. I do, as I mentioned, indie games. I do a bunch of advisory for typically VC-backed startup game companies and others. Like I'm an advisor for the Indie Mega Booth. If you guys see that downstairs, it's a bunch of indie games that are awesome. And my biggest secret, I guess, is going to be to talk about having GLaDOS from Portal 2 in a bunch of our games.
Whoa. Tease.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And we have Jonathan Holmes here.
Hey, everybody. My name's Jonathan Holmes. I work for video game blogs and magazines. So I get some inside scoops from the game developers. We were just talking with Suda51, who made No More Heroes, about 2 hours ago. He gave me a scoop. Maybe I can share with you later on. We'll see. Pretty exciting.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of secrets revealed here. And, so, out of show of hands, here, who here knows about the story of Ermac? Cool, that's good. That's, and my name's Will Briley, just so you, I guess I forgot I have a slide in there. Yeah, I made Soda Drinker Pro and a bunch of other random stuff, and that, if you don't know, has a lot of secrets in it. So,
Wait, I think you're burying the lead. Your entire game was a secret inside of another game.
That's true. So if you haven't seen the game, it's a game where you walk around and drink soda, and when you finish the soda, you get another soda. But you can play the entire game, and it would take about 2 hours long, and you finish the sodas, and you're done. But if you miss the secret passages in the second level, there's like an entire game with like 140 playable characters that took like about 4 years to make, and it's the reason why the game's 6 gigs. So it's it's totally but we don't really talk about it that much. But there's a lot of secrets in it, and there's also some secrets in there that no one's ever found that I'll probably be sharing a little bit later too.
What? Wow, it's exciting.
But first, what you're all here for, the headline is how to unlock Ermac in Super Mario 2 using the Sega 32X. So I have talked to a lot of people in the forums and been able to recreate this exactly, and I want to share it with you. First step, you need to perform a Nintendo Switch. And if you don't know what that is, you take a cartridge of Super Mario 2, remove the insides of it, place it inside another cartridge of Doki Doki Panic. Because that, as you know, fits perfectly inside the 32X. So, as you place that in there, the next thing, the screen's going to pop up. You have to enter a password. The password is TonyCasey500. Make sure you write this down. Once you do that, oh, sorry, step 3 is meatloaf. So there's a microphone inside the 32X. And also thanks to Sharkbites Snack 900 for this. He was in the forums and like totally found this out. People had tried to figure it out by accident for a long time, and Sharkbites actually found it. So
yeah, it was him.
Yeah, it's super awesome. And I think you saw him here really. But what you do is there's a microphone inside the 32X, and you hold the CD player up to it. You turn on the song "I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That" in any CD player for Meatloaf. At exactly 4:35, 4 minutes 35 seconds, he'll say, "Tonight." And at that moment, you pause the game. And when that happens, the built-in mic, you'll see like a buzzing sound. It's kind of weird. But you'll unlock Ermac. So a lot of people see him as like a red character from Mortal Kombat. But when you do this in this specific way, he looks a little bit different. He looks like a blue Garfield with red eyes. And you'll see like lasagna come on stage. You'll see different layering effects to showcase the 32X technology. And you'll even see some advanced parallax scrolling. And at the end, you'll get a good quality recipe. So, this is what we're talking about here, Ermac. I forget his catchphrase is, "Tuesdays are pretty good."
Question? He's not sure.
He's like, "Tuesdays are pretty good?" So,
Okay, but Will, you're kind of revealing this like it's a big deal. I like what video game doesn't use this unlock sequence these days?
It's kind of, it's true. But, that's why we get it with the Ermac's disclaimer, and this is the thing. So, if you know the original story of Ermac, in Mortal Kombat 1, he was a character that people or someone sent into a video game magazine, and it wasn't a real character. So, as like the little kid version of me, he tried to do 1,000 double flawless fatalities, while facing the moon and all this stuff, so I could just play him as just this one moment. It wasn't a real thing. So some of the secrets here that we're going to be talking about are very, very, very real, and that no one has ever known before. And other secrets are sort of like Ermac. And this is kind of like the place for you to decide which ones are real and which ones are not. And, and it's also going to be a time later where this could be that moment where a new one comes up that you'll be able to share. So say if you're a game developer and you want to tell about a secret that you want to share inside your game. Maybe there's a secret in a tabletop game that we don't know about. Maybe it's like a box that you can open up. But maybe, and also if you have any questions about any of the secrets we reveal here tonight, or today, feel free to ask. So that's the Ermac's disclaimer. So we have some questions and secrets revealed. So the first question here, or secret that's being revealed, is this one here. So Bannon Rudis from River City Ransom Underground. Here's his secret.
Hey, my name's Bannon Rudis, and I made a game called River City Ransom Underground. I'm going to tell you a secret. Want to know how to get a zombie in your game? Grab that weapon called the Blade at the pawn shop. Take it over here at nighttime, and you get a zombie. A zombie! Isn't that ideal? It's a fresh idea. That's what ideal means.
So that could be real. It could also be like he made a build of it just for this thing. You never know. But you're welcome to try it yourself. So the question I have for the panel here is, let's go to the next slide. What was the first secret you remember finding in a video game? Anyone's welcome to answer.
I think it was probably the Minus World in Super Mario Bros. 1, and nobody believed it. I don't know if you're familiar with the Minus World secret, but it feels like a glitch. It defies the logic of the game, which is you can't just pass through walls if you rub against them in the right way. So it feels like a collision detection problem, which was new to us back in the Nintendo NES days, the original Nintendo. But it was real, and it's a real bad place to go, the Minus World. It's just you're going to die. You go underwater, and then you die when time runs out.
So what do you have to do?
You rub against the corner of a wall for a while jumping backwards.
Sounds creepy.
Yeah, it is. And as a kid, it felt like doing like a satanic ritual or something, or like staying up all night rubbing stuff and hoping like magic happens.
Oh,
and then,
what? Come on.
play on words. So
That's what Stranger Things is based on.
kind of. Well, it was that feeling of not knowing if these rules that the game laid out for you have to be followed, and maybe you'll be rewarded if you don't, and your secrets in your games will actually reward people for defying expectations and rules, which is one of the things I love the most about game secrets, is they give you the feeling that anything's possible when they're done well.
Cool.
Any other first secrets?
Can I? No. I was going to say can I do a best one? Can I spoil?
There's a question.
Oh, there is. Okay.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say, I know I was invited to this panel, but I don't really believe in secrets. I'm a programmer, and I like to find secrets. I don't like to play for them. So how many of you have ever opened up a hex editor or know what that is? Sure. Right on. So how many of you have done that to your favorite game? Right? When you open something up in a hex editor, like all the magic like phrases in there come out, and so the first secret you can kind of perform for yourself is look for like the writer of the game and substitute your name. But if you have to like truncate your name if they had like a really short one, but then you run the game and you can impress your friends with the game you made.
I usually did I would find the hit points thing, and then I would just give myself infinity hit
It's more
points.
practical.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we have another secret. And it's from Chris Chung, who happens to be here. So check this secret out. It's pretty intense.
Hi, my name is Chris Chung, and I made a game called Cat Lateral Damage, which is a first-person destructive house cat simulator where you play as a cat on a rampage and knock all your owner's possessions onto the floor as quickly as possible using your little kitty paws. There's one secret in the game that I don't think many people have found. The houses are procedurally generated, so they're a bit different every time you play. And the way it works is that each room in a house has a specific list of objects, such as furniture and things you can topple over, that get placed by the game every time you start a level. There's one piece of furniture that's an entertainment center, where things like the TV and DVDs and game consoles get placed. And every now and then the game will place game cases or cartridges on top of that entertainment center. The secret is that one of those game cases, very rarely, is of Cat Lateral Damage itself. And furthermore, if you look very closely at the back of the game case, there's actually a QR code there that works. But you'll have to find it and scan it for yourself to see what it does.
Cool.
There we go. That's have you played Cat Lateral Damage before? Yeah, there we go.
Was that the actual QR code that?
No, that one unlocks something different.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to mention, throughout the whole panel, there's a whole bunch of secrets hidden inside the panel itself, too. So. I think if you stand next to like that speaker for like 3 minutes, you get an achievement. So the next question is, what is the most complicated secret that you know how to unlock in a video game?
Well, this gives me the opportunity to talk about the secret Bannon revealed earlier. Bannon, I was so worried about Bannon. He put so many secrets in River City Ransom Underground, and they are so hard to unlock. He made it look simple. You actually have to go to a secret shop that at random times sells a weapon that looks like the weapon from Krull, but he had to call it something else, and then bring it just at a specific time in the in-game clock to a door that you can never open and always wonder, like, what's that door doing there? And drop it right at the right time, and then one zombie comes out. It's the only zombie in the game, and it's just a very mean zombie. Like, you don't get a special weapon from it or powers. It's just like, if you knew a zombie, how hard would it be to beat it up? It would be super hard.
Tough.
It's already dead. So it's got tons of hit points, and it eventually just kills you. I'm like, Bannon, how long did this take to implement? He's like, yeah, about 6 months. What? Like, what? You think anyone's going to find it? He's like, I don't care. It's in there. I know it's in there. It took me like a month or two to get him to be willing to reveal it on this panel, actually. So that's the most complicated one I can think of off the top of my head.
Any other?
Again, just playing to my laziness, I'll talk about ones I know about personally and didn't find.
Yep.
So, and I also want to take this time to describe the difference in a cheat and a secret. Right? A cheat is something that devs do that they think will be fun eventually to leak and allow people to, play the games. And all of the Harmonix games, Guitar Hero and Rock Band, they'll have like a little cheat screen you've got to enter, and then you can put in your codes. So what I'm about to describe is not something you can do on the cheat screen. It's an actual secret in a very well-known game, Guitar Hero. Sorry, I lied, Rock Band. They're really similar to me. Sorry, one came after the next. So our art director, Ryan Lesser, had a heavy metal band called Megasis. And our lead artist, technical artist, Jason Booth, was a real indie rock fan. They would have constant arguments. And you can kind of see where this is going. The technical artist had access to the game code, so he was the one who put in the secret. If you make a band name called Megasis, which is the name of Ryan Lesser's band, in the third stage where there's raining sort of lights, it'll spell out Megasis sucks.
Love it.
Wow. Is that first, has that ever been revealed before? Or is this?
No, that's to my knowledge.
Wow. Exclusive.
And those
everybody.
guys missed it. Those three that just walked in.
Has anybody played
I'm glad Ryan's not here.
Save the Date? Can I spoil Save the Date? It's a super great game that I'm going to ruin for everybody here. To finish the game, it's essentially like you're going out on a date, and it's like Groundhog Day. You keep dying. Your date keeps dying over and over and over again. And to stop her from dying, you actually have to go into the source code of the game and fix the game. And then at that point, she'll stop dying and you can continue.
That's awesome.
What about arcade games, like Secrets and Cheat?
Oh, yeah.
So there was an old, I'm dating myself, but there was an old game that we had called Battle Zone. It was a big, huge coin op. And I loved the game. It didn't do that well, but anyways, there was a cheat on there, and I forget what the sequence was with the two controllers, but you would get 5 free credits if you would do it. And where we bought these things up in Dedham, these big machines, the guy told us about it, and he's like kind of swore us to secrecy. He's like, don't let this out. There's a little thing in here. You do this. Well, we put it in a bowling alley, Wonder Bowl in New Bedford, and the game was doing really lousy. We couldn't figure out why. My brother had written the cheat on the side of the game with a Sharpie. So that's why nobody was playing. And then we finally, they actually took that cheat out of the games like that. But
What did the cheat do? Did I miss it?
gave you like 5 free credits.
So people were playing the game. They
Yeah,
just
yeah,
weren't
yeah.
paying to play for it. Yeah.
Do you know about the Golden Tee cheat? There was
Yeah.
you know how like in Golden Tee you could actually win real money if you did a hole-in-one? They did a contest where you could win 10 grand. This guy found a way to do it every single time. He uploaded it to YouTube and had to pay out like tons.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like nuts. But yeah, that's some complicated things. Let's see. Birthday Frog Thor. Here's a good one. This is from Austin Ivansmith from Thor, God of Thunder.
Yeah, the DS game.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Whoops.
Wait, before you start.
Hi, I'm Austin Ivansmith. I directed Thor, God of Thunder for the Nintendo DS for Way Forward. In Thor, God of Thunder, you play as Thor, but there are some other cool sprite animations in the game. We thought it'd be fun to be able to play as the different other sprite characters in a Golden Axe style minigame that we called Frost Grinder Assault, which is kind of a side story in the actual game. And one of the other directors, Adam Tierney, was obsessed with Frog Thor, or Throg, who was an actual comic character in the Marvel Universe. And he kept pressuring me to put it into the game. And so we did. And you can play as him by playing on your DS in Frost Grinder Assault after you've beaten it at least once to unlock all the other characters. But you also have to be playing the game on your birthday, which you set in the Nintendo DS main system information. So that's how you play as Frog Thor in Thor: God of Thunder.
Cool. It's anybody's birthday today? Nobody?
Nobody's birthday.
Wait, really?
Wow, that's
Nobody's birthday? Are you just being
Statistically, that's a
shy?
lie.
Can you put your hand up if it's your birthday?
Tomorrow?
This is a big lying panel. So feel free to, yeah!
So weird.
Oh! Yay!
We were going to give prizes and everything.
Oh, yeah. Whoever
it's too
has a
late.
birthday.
Never.
All right, so what is a great rumor secret in the game that you're not sure if it's true or not? You know, like kind of something you don't know. It might be real, might not be, you know? Any good rumors? I've got a couple.
I told myself a rumor when I was a teenager, and for some reason I thought it might be true, even though I completely invented it. Mega Man X2, I don't know if any of you played it. It's a pretty good video game. You can rebuild your friend Zero, who died in the previous game, if you do some extra stuff. So I thought, what if I did even more extra stuff? What if I beat the game without getting any of the armor upgrades, getting any of the sub-tanks that need armor upgrades to get to it, and none of the heart tanks that you need armor upgrades for? And it's really, really hard if you do it that way. The last boss can kill you in 2 hits. I practiced for hours after getting home from high school for weeks, and I eventually did it. Nothing happened. But I still thought, maybe if I just didn't get that heart tank, something would have happened. Because the game tricked me into thinking anything was possible. And I got really good at the game. So I got that to show for it. But yeah.
It's almost a sad story.
Almost a sad story. Yeah. Story of my life.
Well, can I talk more about harmonics? That's all I know. Do any of you guys know Frequency? You heard of this game? It was kind of Guitar Hero before instruments, so of course nobody got it. But I was the coder, and I put something in that I honestly can't remember if it made it in, but it definitely didn't make it as a cheat code that anybody can find, including myself. So I would love if somebody here would actually find it. And this is kind of an old reference, but we had a seconds to crate mode. Now, if you read Old Man Murray, this is a greatest gaming site back in 2000. They had a review system called the Crate Review System. It said any game can be judged empirically by the number of seconds from the game start to when you see the first crate. So,
and this was mostly for first-person shooters.
Mostly.
And it wasn't a flattering thing if you were 3 seconds in.
That's right. You know, the goal was to be 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Lots of games were 0. Some games had a negative time. They would feature a crate in their cutscene. And then the absolute 0 was a game that actually featured a crate on its box art. So, I was enamored of this idea, and we had a version of the game where all the gems were turned into crates. And the seconds to crate was your score. So, like I said, it's a rumor because I actually can't unlock it in my own game. But I know it's in there.
Any other rumors?
Not rumors, no.
I can tell you one. There's a rumor I know in Soda Drinker. I know I think it's in there. I just don't know how to unlock it. But depending on how you customize the sodas in the game, there's a soda customization thing. One I can tell you is real. Is if you set it to chunkiness all the way and set your soda color to red, it unlocks a thing called Santa mode, which there's a Santa Claus that follows you around for the entire game. But there's a spaghetti mode that I don't remember how to unlock. I think you have to just choose one of the random variables, and hopefully it works. But
What happens in spaghetti mode?
Yeah.
whenever you drink a soda, dry spaghetti falls in your head.
This is literally how rumors are started.
That's how games are started.
Yep, exactly. That's
Why dry? Was it like a GPU physics issue that
Yeah,
you couldn't
yeah.
do wet spaghetti back then?
All the physics is taken care of, we're basically cranking all the thing we can out of the machine with the soda physics. So it's way too intensive on the system.
Okay. Well, why was chunky an option for soda?
Well, there's a lot of like different variables related to sodas that you can alter in the game, and so there's there's emotional intensity, chunkiness, viscosity, condensation, carbonation, caffeine level, color. There's a lot of different things based on what you do. Most of the time it just says soda customized and then doesn't do anything in the game. But there's like a ton of different, there's probably like 20 different things you can unlock based on whatever random code you put in there. So there's actually like 2 other giant games in the game that count there.
I love this guy.
And there is an online multiplayer mode that no one knows about. But that's what it is. Right. So we have another one. No pineapple left behind in Nebraska. For the second. So this is a pretty cool game, and I just saw Seth earlier.
I'm Seth, the creator of No Pineapple Left Behind. In that game, I have an achievement that can only trigger randomly and only if you are currently playing the game in Nebraska. There is a bunch of loading messages for whenever a level loads, and one of them is, have you ever been to Nebraska, which, for the record, I have. If you get that message, the game will immediately try to locate your IP address, and if it determines that you are presently in Nebraska, you get the achievement. I didn't think many people were ever going to get this, and then I ended up demoing the game at an event in Nebraska, and everyone was like, yes, we are in Nebraska. So more of the story is Nebraska is really cool and highly underrated, and you should all go there.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Board of Tourism.
Yeah, I met Seth in real life.
Yeah.
And he just talked about Nebraska for like 15 minutes and then left. Yeah, he loves that place.
Yeah, it's a good place. It's a good Bruce Springsteen album.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I want to share somebody else's secret.
Yeah.
Kind of related to that. There's a singer, George Ezra, he sings Budapest. On Budapest and na. Well, we get up there, we sing the song, and he then admits he's never been to Budapest. This guy. And that's a major song, millions of dollars. So it just proves you don't need to go to Nebraska to...
This might be the
Write a song about
nerdiest
Nebraska.
panel in PAX. I love it. It's good.
Yeah. So let's see. We have another question. Oh, the secret. What is the most useful secret that you know? That's not
The secret.
This is a non-video game related secret.
It could be, or
So like use soap when you bathe or something?
yeah, it could be anything. I just figured we're all together here. We can share some.
Is this like a serious question? This is really deep.
It could be, or it could just be like a secret that like is useful to you. Like I have a key underneath this thing, in case I forget my keys.
Well,
You can tell them.
I'll
house?
spin one out. This is a terrible secret to admit because I'm going to ruin it for myself. But if any of you are local, there is a area of Cambridge, Davis Square, right? If you park at the Citizens Bank in
don't
Cambridge
say
Square,
this.
they'll never tow you.
Wait, really?
I parked there and
Dude.
left my car there for like 9 hours and nothing.
That's
I didn't even go to the bank.
It's true.
Yeah, I thought about parking there today actually and taking the key.
I was dying for a place.
So that's a
Destroyed.
yeah, I know.
last week.
And
Okay,
you're
but
all
wait a
just
second.
It's going to be a
gonna
line of cars.
Aren't you ruining it by telling us all? Because there used to be a place in Central where you could park, and then suddenly everybody started parking there, and now there's a gate.
I ruined it. Yeah, I did. But it was
I know
worth
that
it.
place in
It's
Harvard
a once in a lifetime event. Oh
Oh
yeah, I know. I'll bring my 3DS and hopefully I'll street pass you guys there. Legal parking.
I'm not going to tell the place I know in Harvard where you can park without getting towed, so... Got to keep some secrets to ourselves, right?
Any other good secrets?
How about a good secret? So traditionally gaming is about geeks. And I'm still a geek. I was very shy. And the TLDR is, if you learn how to dance salsa, you can get married.
One secret is if you ever play foosball and you take your hat and you stuff it in the goal, you can play forever.
Good secrets. Yeah. And we'll have a time later if anyone wants to share secrets, you can too. So, we have another one. Goats in space. This is a pretty cool one. They're all pretty neat. This is from Armin, from Goat Simulator. So,
Goat
here we go.
Simulator.
Hi everyone, my name is Armin Ibrisagic and I worked on Goat Simulator. And there's one secret that I'd like to tell you about Goat Simulator. So there's basically this place when you start the first level, there's a garage that's pretty close to you, and there's a secret alien device in the garage. Most people have found the alien device, but they don't really know what it does. So if you take this alien device and you take it to some crop circles that are at another part of the level, and you put the device on a stick that's kind of in the middle of the crop circles, and then you stand there for a couple of minutes, or a couple of seconds rather. Then a UFO comes by and kind of sucks you up into the UFO, and you end up in space, basically. And you just roll around in space, and there's no way for you to come back because you're kind of in space. So you end up having to restart the game.
How's it going?
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. So we have another question here. What is the best secret ever put in a video game?
I'm gonna go with mine. Right? So sometime in 2011, Valve came to us.
Oh, yeah.
And, this is when Portal 2 was about to come out. And so they were really secretive about it. And they flew a bunch of us out, a bunch of indie studios out. They put us into a room, and then Gabe Newell, my writer was there. I wasn't. I missed this. Gabe Newell came up, and he's like, guys, there are no lawyers in the room, but what I have to tell you has to stay in this room. We're launching a game called Portal 2, and we want to put GLaDOS into all of your games. And so what came from that was the Portal 2 alternate reality game. How many people have played Portal 2? How many people are familiar with the Portal 2 ARG? A few? Okay, actually a lot of people. So basically we did this entire ARG, alternate reality game, based on having GLaDOS in a bunch of our games. And so these would, GLaDOS would pop up with various little tidbits in a bunch of indie games, and people were like, what the hell is going on here? And they would, they would follow our Twitter feeds or decompile games and take a look at, sound files and text files, and slowly over the course of a few, I want to say weeks, if not longer, the gaming public realized that something interesting was happening, and eventually they were able to solve this ARG, which spanned multiple continents and, many countries, and get Portal 2 launched early because they solved this puzzle.
It's crazy. Cool. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
But they actually had, the guys and gals who won the ARG and were most involved in it got to throw an actual switch, and that was when somebody pushed a button and launched it.
That's cool.
Does anybody know what the earliest ever Easter egg was on any arcade game or video game? Anybody take a guess?
I thought it was an adventure on the 26th. Oh, it was for the audience.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anybody shout it out? Was it? Adventure, 1979.
Yeah.
A couple earlier ones, which I did. Believe me, I didn't know this until I researched it.
Are you going to say Space War or Tennis for Two or something like that?
Well, there was the one the most credited is Video Whizball, 1978, for Fairchild F game console. And then this guy stepped forward from Atari, 1977, Starship One. And you do a sequence of the controls that would say, "Hi, Ron," and give you 10 free games. And then he did not approve it. The story doesn't have a good ending. It's just a flat ending. But he did not approve it, and so he actually had the arcade game shipped to his house, and he opened it up, and he went through the console and reprogrammed it, and you could see that it was in there, that it was written in there. It said, "Hi, Ron," but he forgot the sequence to do. And he then reprogrammed it, and actually, when he was about to give up, it did. It said, "Hi, Ron."
No.
So, yeah, so 1977 was the one, Starship One.
That's crazy.
Boom.
Yeah.
I feel like most of our audience wasn't alive in 1977.
No.
Well, I was born.
You're old. We're all old.
You know the bit about not being
Ron is
allowed
old.
to put a secret in? I mean, it's ironic, but if you're making a AAA game, this is why everyone should be an indie dev, because if you're making a AAA game, they're checked, they're QA'd, you have producers. If you say you want to do something funny, they say no every time. It's just going to take more QA, that could break the game. So you either put your job on the line, which a lot of us do to put in stupid shit, or you don't. So one of the things, other things I could share, and maybe this might not be the best, I'm saving that for last, but you guys might have heard of Rock Band Stage Kit. This was a device we actually made that would pour out like fog and flashing lights to play along with Rock Band, because it wasn't immersive enough, and it didn't sell that well, surprisingly, but we loved it, and so we kept adding support for it in every game we made after that. That's the secret. So I believe you can play Dance Central, and if you put the stage kit in the corner, it'll start fogging out at the right time, and colors will go off. I think Fantasia's got support for it.
No way.
So
I kind of want Harmonix to do like a visual novel next, and you can still have the flashing lights.
it's it just needs to be the most ridiculous thing, and then this thing goes off in the corner and flashes blue and red and pours out smoke. But
God, you had a lot of power, and you abused the shit out of it. Didn't you?
the coders would ask me, and I would say, yeah, and I wouldn't tell anybody else.
That's awesome.
A lot of the circuit boards in the old arcade games also had sometimes would have little messages written in them that you wouldn't see unless you were the guy. And there's tons of them. This one here was from Area 51, Site 4. If you pull out the circuit board, it says, "Well, this rate's about a 9 on my weird shit-o-meter." It's there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, sorry. Did you have another secret?
No, I actually want a secret. If anybody knows a secret to playing Star Castle better.
Oh, I love that.
Because I love that game too. I used to play it while I was waiting to watch movies in my hometown theater. So I bought one, and it's I really suck badly, and I need a cheat. If anybody knows anything about that game, please let me know.
Moving toward getting close to Q&A.
Oh yeah. We got a couple more of these. I have a DuckTales secret for you.
Oh, all right.
The fourth nephew. Also from Austin. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Austin Ivensmith, and I directed DuckTales Remastered for Way Forward. And there's a Easter egg that I don't think anyone will ever find. It involves the fourth nephew, Fooey. So in the old Carl Barks comics, there were sometimes an accidental fourth nephew that fans have lovingly referred to as Fooey. And so we thought it would be really fun to put it in the game. So in the African Mine stage, when the nephews are crashing through on the minecart, there is a chance that you will see Fooey jump out of the minecart along with the other three nephews. He's colored yellow, and he'll fly up and fall off the bottom of the screen, never to be seen again. The only way to see it is if you've already played through the game once, and you're playing through on a second playthrough on the same save file, and you have a 1 in either 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 chance of seeing it, and we set a save flag, so if you have seen it, it won't ever happen again. So if someone does run across it and they try to reproduce it, they'll never be able to reproduce it. So it is a very obscure thing that no one seems to have found, and but that is how you would come across it in the game if you happen to be doing that. So there you go. Thanks.
So we got a couple other quick secrets. We have one from Jay from Dropsy. Yeah.
Howdy, folks. Jay Tholen here. I'm the lead developer on Dropsy. I wanted to tell you. Howdy. I wanted to tell you about a secret in Dropsy, and that is if you go here. This is an old map that we made around the Kickstarter, so it's not the final map, but it's roughly the same. So if you go around here, there's a cavern, and if you walk along the edge, there's a clear path that you can go down in the cavern that's highlighted. But if you walk along, if you keep trying to click below the walkable, well, what appears to be the walkable area, you'll be able to get Dropsy to go down a secret long path, and there's a hand symbol there. And if we would have put this in the game, then you would be able to take an item and put it on the hand symbol, and then it would descend into a room beneath the cavern, and there would have been a strange swirly symbol on the wall. Yeah, and that's the secret.
And we have from Legend of Dungeon. This is just in today.
Hi, we're Robot Loves Kitty. Calvin, I'm not like
Yeah, and we constantly get messages from people talking about spreading rumors about past the 26th floor of Legend of Dungeon, saying there's a 27th floor and even floors further down than that, which is, I mean, we just don't have time to put those kinds of things into a game. And it's just not true. People post fake screenshots of it and stuff on our forums and things, and it's not real.
No, so that's not a secret. And then in our upcoming game in Super Tony Land, we've got some neat little secrets in there. We're not going to spoil for anyone because it's not a released game yet. But the thing we're excited about most there is there will be secrets that other people make. Because in our level editor, we give people all kinds of access to things, and they can do things they probably shouldn't be able to. Yeah, that's us.
Oops.
Hi, we're Robot.
No, a piece of trivia about Alex and Calvin, incredibly creative people who are also weird and awesome. They spent a year of their lives living in a tree house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know this?
No.
Yeah, they developed games in there.
No way.
Yeah.
They use like solar panels to power their. Yeah, there's
Cool.
pictures online. They're definitely great people.
Yeah.
And I don't believe them about that 27th
No, that's
floor.
why I don't, is because they are the kinds of people who would add a 27th level and lie about it.
Yeah.
So we got, I think, one more secret, and then we're going to be doing some Q&A stuff. So this is from Kyle, from Emily is Away Too. Yeah, this is pretty neat.
Hey everyone, I'm Kyle Seeley, developer of Emily's Away, and there's a Frog Fractions approved secret in Emily 2 that not a lot of people know about. So sometimes when you open a certain character's profile, there's a sigil in the corner. Clicking on that sigil brings you to their Facebook profile. If you set your time to midnight and reload the page, you get a code. Inputting that code unlocks an icon of a can of soup, and using that icon will add a hidden character to your buddy list. If you talk to them and solve a puzzle in their buddy info, you get a YouTube link. The video is a parody of the I eat a picture of Jason Segel every day until he eats a picture of me guy. And instead it's I eat a bowl of alphabet soup every day until Frog Fractions 3 is found.
That's
real.
So now we get some rumors and secrets, and just this is we're all here today. I wanted to give you a quick example of one that my brother and I think my brother came up with the original idea, have been quietly spreading this rumor for a long time, and this is the first time I can really share it with all of you, like in a space. So here it is. SimCity, the movie. There's an unreleased trailer in Windows 95. In Windows 95, they had the Buddy Holly video that you could watch from Weezer, and there was also a trailer inside Windows 95. The only way you could get it is if you hit the blue screen of death, what you do is unplug your keyboard and hold the left mouse button at the same time. You'll see the trailer for SimCity the movie, and it's amazing. Like, this is the movie that should have come out and never did, and it was just stuck in Windows 95. I don't know what happened to it, but it starred Paul Reiser from Mad About You as Alan Sim, and John Lithgow as the mayor of SimCity. And so I want to share this with you today, so if you can spread this story around, you could use the SimCity the movie hashtag if you need to, but we're going to be sharing some rumors and secrets, and if you have any rumors and secrets or questions about any of these rumors and secrets, hop up to the mic, and we'd love to talk to you. We got some time. So, yeah. Yes.
There's something that you didn't disclose to this group here. I listened to you on a video game podcast like 3 years ago. And besides being a video game developer, aren't you also a magician?
That's correct. It's yeah, I mean, a lot of that is, it's all kind of the same thing, you know, it's like understanding the focus of the player, or like, you know, people in the audience, and like, oh, gross, like, yeah, So yeah, it's true. But yes.
This is more of a meta question, but have you like put a secret in a game that you thought nobody would ever solve, and they immediately found it like in 1 second?
I mean, the Portal 2 example is perfect. When you have like bazillions of people looking at something, we had an audio file that we stuck into one of our games, and to decode the audio file, you had to extract it from the game or record it, open it up in an audio editor, switch to a spectrum view if you're familiar with that, and the spectrum view of the audio waveform was a message that unlocked something else. That was unlocked in like 2 hours. Wow.
It's crazy. Yes?
It's probably more of a cheating thing than a secret thing, but you mentioned hex editors earlier. Have you ever proxied a game through your computer and see the requests and mess with them? Because I've definitely done that, and you can see some fun things that way.
Mm-hmm, yes. Fun with networking, and you know, there's some security-related things you're getting into here that maybe goes beyond games, but I encourage every, you know, burgeoning programmer to explore all means possible to learn about their systems.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I forgot to mention. In Soda Drinker, we actually put a keylogger in every version of the game, and it's cool. Like, we get to really learn about our audience and, like, you know, have really targeted advertising. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to share an interesting secret of my own. When I was in high school, in the library, there was a photo copy machine, and we had to pay a dime for every sheet. And turns out that someone found that if you put a nickel and then 3 pennies, you could have infinite photocopies. I figured it was some kind of technical debug mode or something. I just thought that was really interesting.
That's awesome.
I thought you were going to say that you could save 2 cents on each copy.
No. Like, once you did that, it was as many copies as you wanted.
Go away.
Yeah.
Copies. That's awesome. That's cool. Man, does anyone else have any rumors or secrets they want to start today?
I want to. Can I?
Yeah.
Like, so we have an upcoming game called Last Night on Planet Earth. And I don't know if the camera can get it, but it's essentially a full motion video life simulator where you play an alien who comes to Boston to learn how to dance salsa before the Earth explodes. And I know there are a million of those games, but I kind of want to put this panel discussion in the audience as a secret in that game for when it launches. Cool. We'll see.
Wow. That's cool. That'd be...
I just took 2 pictures. I'll redact everybody's faces, but you'll be in there.
Royalties.
Yeah, that's good. That's you know, it's actually super. I was just thinking about the keylogging thing, and I want to apologize about that. But actually, it was so crazy. Last year, we had like a picture, and I was looking through Google Photos, and it recognized a bunch of my friends' faces in the audience. And I was like, oh my God, that's like so crazy how it does that. But yeah, I'm trying to think any other. Oh, we have Panzer Dragoon.
Sure.
Yeah, we were just talking with one of the developers from. He was on the Dreamcast.
Panzer Dragoon Orta on the Dreamcast. Anyone remember the Dreamcast? Smile bit. So me and Will were just wandering around PAX, and this fella Trevor. I don't know if you can see him. I'll turn it just once. I should say always one of these days.
Right here.
I was one of the people who played Panzer Dragoon Orta. And there's a secret in that game that has never been discovered to my knowledge, which is the smart bomb attack, the berserk attack, actually has a leveled up version where Beat, the character from Jet Set Radio, another game that Smilebit made, actually flies out of the dragon with a can of spray paint and sprays all the enemies out of the world.
That's me. I like those games, so I was pretty surprised.
That was crazy. And all the stuff you were saying with like the Golden Axe, like where there's like a unreleased like Golden Axe inside the game that you can get. That was, I never knew about that.
Yeah, pretty mind blowing.
But man, so yeah, I guess, any other questions people might have, or we can. Actually, there was one question that we didn't do because I wasn't sure if we'd have enough time, but I figured we'll do that too. This one. Can you share a secret about a game that no one knows or has never found? I guess we've sort of covered this, but I figured.
I did have one left.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your good one.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Good is subjective. So if I've told you anything that's more entertaining, keep it to yourself. This one, this is another undisclosed kind of harmonics in joke, but it's not just one game. It's every game that's been made since 2001. There is something in every game for you to find. It's a monkey head. Seriously, every harmonics game since Amplitude has a monkey head in it, and not just like a different monkey head. It's the same like kind of sock puppety monkey head. So you've really got to look for it in certain levels, and I can't reveal the locations in every game, but I encourage you to play every single harmonics game and then make a video about it, because that would rule. Yeah. And I guarantee it's in there.
Brought to you by Harmonix Limited.
Monkey heads. We have a couple, two questions.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yes, actually, this question is for Carl. Are there any secrets hidden within any of the Adult Swim cartoons that you're aware of that you could share?
No, I mean, we used to just put Easter eggs in each, a lot of them have that, I mean, we did a show years ago called Home Movies, and there's a gnome in every one of those, there's stuff like that, but there's no, you're talking about the TV shows, right? Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, I think a lot of those shows have little Easter eggs that are in every episode if you look for them, but yeah, so, yeah.
Ichiram, glad you brought FMV, because it reminded me a couple years ago I ported Night Trap to the browser. And in doing so, I was trying to figure out how did they initially make this game in '87 when it was filmed with VHS. Sure enough, one of the developers reached out to me on Twitter, and at PAX Prime 2 years ago, he said, "I live in Seattle, let's have breakfast." We sat down, and when we dissected the video, me and another developer wrote a tool to rip all the video, we saw it was 15 frames a second, all of the video. So we thought, that's interesting, because typically games, normally 60 or 30. And he said because with the VHS system that they were making at the time, Nemo, so Hasbro was making this, what they would do is it was going to be 4 cameras, and they were going to have each of the film play 15 frames a second. So with 4 cameras, you could fill a total of 60 frames. You'd have frame 1, 2, 3, 4 for camera 1, 2, 3, 4, and have a little index to offset it along the way. I could not find that anywhere, so when I saw that from the horse's mouth, I thought, that was interesting. Maybe other people will have.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So FMV on
and what's the name of the site where you can play Night Trap online, too?
I don't know, not sure if it's functioning anymore, but it's all on my GitHub, and it's just my name. But if you look for Night Trap plus browser, you can find it there.
That's awesome. That's a wicked cool project.
We did a show one time for Comedy Central, and we tried to put in subliminal messaging for girls to call us or something. This is a long time ago, right out of college, and it was a disaster. Everyone's like, we were watching it with the network for the first time, and it just watching the shows, and people were like, what was that? And we're like, oh, never mind. And they're like, no, go back. And there was our name and our phone numbers. Subliminal doesn't work.
Did you actually get married that way as well?
Yeah. My phone wouldn't stop ringing.
When I was a little kid, I downloaded this program from a BBS called Flasher, and it was supposed to be like a subliminal message program, and I would leave it on my parents' computer, and it would say buy Will video games, every thousandth of a second, 10 minutes or whatever, and they were like, what's this annoying thing on the computer? They couldn't read the word. I'm like, nothing. Turned it off. I know. Cool. Oh man, I'm trying to think if there's a secret that no one knows about. There's actually one in Vivian and Clark that I'm positive is totally real and no one has found.
How are you not, you wrote the game. You were the coder on the game.
I know it's real, but the thing is my brother wrote a bunch of stuff too. And there's stuff that he didn't know about. When we would push a change, I'd be I wouldn't put all the full description and stuff. And actually, it was funny. when we did it on Xbox, we had to like write documentation about all like the secrets and stuff in there. So it was like, you know, talk about spaghetti mode, and so there is a giant like file of like everything in there. But there's some stuff I think we've forgotten in there. But if you go in this one part in Vivian Clark and you stand in one place for like a few minutes, the character has a little text bubble come out of his mouth, and it says, "Hi, Leah," and that's my brother's daughter's name. And there's another one where it says, "Hi, Fred," which is my son's name. So it's so there's a little way to have the characters say hi to them.
Is there a website with all the different like little Easter eggs?
Yeah, some good YouTube channels. Yahoo Answers is where I get most of them.
How about the really well-known unknown Easter egg in Far Cry 4 where the antagonist is like, oh, I gotta take this phone call, just wait for 5 minutes. And if you just wait for 5 minutes, the entire game doesn't happen and you win.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I hear they did that in Far Cry 5 as well.
Oh.
Yeah?
No.
So I haven't played it yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
The instant end.
Cool. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that's. Oh, here is everyone's info too, and I just want to thank you for all being here, and you know, thanks for coming. I hope we all have and thanks for the panelists and everyone here rocking the sound, and you know, for all of you being here. So if you have any questions, we'll be hanging out, and but yeah, thanks again, and I hope you have a great PAX.